Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're watching in the world. And welcome to our conference, The State of Creativity, Policy, Research and Industry. This is the Creative Industries Policy and Evidence Centre's first major conference. And a very warm welcome to everyone in the room here at the BFI and for those of you joining on our live stream. My name is Caroline Meeby. I am your host for the day. I'm a brown woman with curly hair, glasses, and I'm wearing a leopard print top. I'm delighted to be with you as we look back at the years of policy change in the creative industries and explore where next for the sector. Over the course of the day, we'll be hearing from leading thinkers from across the UK and internationally as they share the latest findings on themes ranging from inclusive growth, skills and education to R&D and Createch. Today also marks the publication of a major report in which the PEC reflects on how far the creative industries have come over the last 5 years. You should have all been given copies of the report. I can see them in the audience now. And that report will give you a lot more detail about all the PEC research, should you want to dive deeper, and I'm sure you will. Today is going to be your one-stop shop for the latest intel on what's happening in the UK's fastest growing sector. So expect your heads to hurt by the end of the day. We are going to be rattling through the different themes at fairly breakneck speed. So the challenge for me and all of our session chairs is going to be to keep to time. Luckily, I have a colleague, Natasha, in the front row, who will be keeping us in check with time cards, but permission for all chairs to be very bossy on that note and keep everyone in check. Before we dive right in, though, I do have some housekeeping to go through. For those of us at the BFI, there aren't any planned fire drills, so if you do hear the alarm, it is not a test. Please follow the direction of the BFI staff. And you should all have these nice pink lanyards. Please, can I ask that you wear them at all times? Okay, my next request is for you all to log into Slido, which is our interactive Q&A tool for the day. We have a private Wi-Fi network, and you should see the details on the slide behind me. Please go to slido.com, the URL's on the slide, and use the code PECconference to log in. If you're watching us online, you can do the same, and you can also join in with the conversation. I do encourage everyone to submit questions during the presentations and panels, so we've got questions ready for our speakers when it's time for the Q&A. We'd also really love for you to share your experiences with us today, and you'll be able to see on the screen the social handles where you can tweet us at CreativePEC, and please use the hashtag #StateOfCreativity. If you'd like to view the agenda for the day, there's a QR code that you'll see around the venue, and there's a copy in your joining instructions, or you can go onto the PEC website where you can also find all of the profiles of today's speakers. And if you're watching the live stream, you should have captions enabled already. If not, you can toggle them on. After today, there will be a fully captioned and edited recording of the whole day available on the PEC's website. That will be as soon as we can after today's events. So, let's kick off. Please may I welcome Professor Christopher Smith first to the stage. Christopher is Executive Chair of the Arts and Humanities Research Council, who fund the PEC, and who very generously made today's event possible. So, welcome, Christopher. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much indeed. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. For those of you who might like to know, I'm a white man, middle-aged, in a blue suit, white shirt and a yellow tie. And blue, white and yellow, celebrating all sorts of joyous colours. This is a fantastic occasion for us. We're absolutely thrilled at AHRC to be supporting this event and indeed the Creative Industries Policy and Evidence Centre. There are lots of anniversaries knocking around here, but if you look in the report at the beginning, you'll see that it's 25 years since Chris Smith wrote his groundbreaking book, Creative Britain. And here we are 25 years on, and here's Christopher Smith standing, introducing the state of creativity. The arc of history, long arc of history, reaches towards Smiths. So what do Smiths do? They bring energy, technology and imagination to create amazing things. So that's a pretty good metaphor for what the creative industries does. And I just wanted to think about the 25 years, because Chris Smith, 25 years ago, probably could not have imagined that a prime minister would stand outside Number 10 yesterday with representatives of the gaming industry, celebrate the importance of gaming as a critical part of the UK economy, just a few weeks after the Chancellor of the Exchequer had identified the creative industries as one of the 5 critical growth sectors for the UK economy. 25 years ago was also when AHRC was founded. It's also our 25th birthday. And 25 years ago, my predecessor could not have imagined that AHRC would right now be able to celebrate the fact that we have supported 5 years of the creative industries clusters with £55 million in and over 250 million of co-investment leveraged, or that we'll be just days away from announcing about £70 million of investment in infrastructure in virtual production. That's the journey we have gone on together, and part of that journey has been driven by policy and evidence. You don't get good policy without good evidence, and it's the extraordinary contribution of the Creative Industries Policy and Evidence Centre, led so ably by Hassan and Liza and others, that has given us the basis on which we've been able to make the arguments that we have. I'm thrilled that AHRC is able to support another 5 years of the Creative Industries Policy and Evidence Centre with its new hosts, Newcastle University and the Royal Society of Arts. I'm grateful to Nesta, the National Endowment for Science, Technology and Arts, for its generous hosting over the 5 years. And I really look forward to seeing more of how Nesta will bring its arts alongside us in the Arts and Humanities Research Centre and the rest of our community to drive forward the creative industries together. The landscape we're describing is, of course, imperfect. There are a number of areas where we need to do better. We know we need to be a better funder. I am really keen to see a more coherent and long-term and stable investment scenario for the creative industries. I'm therefore very grateful to UKRI for having asked me, UKRI, the parent body of HRC, having asked me to become the creative industries sector champion for all of UKRI and bring all the research councils, Research England and Innovate UK together in a coherent strategy for the creative industries, which will align with the creative industries sector vision we will shortly see. That is part of the investment landscape, but that investment landscape needs to be broader and bigger and more stable. And it needs to drive and be driven by a really solid investment in skills, from schools through lifelong learning, from everyday creativity to the highest levels of technological capacity, nationally and globally, and with a profound commitment to EDI. We must make our skills base diverse and inclusive, and we know as a funder that we need to do more. Skills built on a strategic investment policy driven by a coherent government approach is where we need to get to and where I believe we can. And today we will hear many experts talk about how we drive this state of creativity further and further towards a better place and to a more equitable and a more joined up place. And in that way, we will realise the vision that Chris Smith had 25 years ago of a truly creative Britain. I hope everybody has a wonderful conference, and I look forward so much to being with you for as much of today as I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christopher. We are very grateful for the AHRC's support, and we would also like to thank the BFI for their generosity in hosting us today in this fantastic venue. So huge thanks to Harriet Finney and the team here at the BFI. Now, before I introduce our first speaker, I'm hoping you've all managed to log on to Slido now. We're going to warm up with a very quick poll. We'd love to find out where you've come from today to join us here, or if you're joining via the live stream, where in the world you're watching from. So if you could let us know via your devices, please. Edinburgh, Cambridge, and here are the London people. They've all turned up en masse. Looking out for, so it looks as if we've got all 4 nations of the UK represented. I'm trying to see if we've got anyone internationally joining us yet. Not quite yet, but I can see Tooting and Swindon and Dundee. Super. Brilliant. Thank you. That was just a quick warm-up. Everyone's got the hang of using Slido now. So our second poll is we have a choice of different areas for you, and we want to ask which of these areas do you expect the creative industries to make the most progress on over the next 5 years. So you should be able to see the poll choices. And if you could vote now, what we'll do is we'll come back at the end of the day and we'll see if our answers have changed. So, lots of people submitting answers. Do keep voting. Okay, so it looks as if making use of emerging technologies is the first one. New forms of investment in arts and culture. I saw diversifying was top up there. It's gone down a little bit. Increasing investment outside London. Fantastic. We'll come back to that at the end of the day, and we'll see if anything has shifted over the course of the day.